Hello, welcome to the video on an introduction to surveymonkey.com. This video is going to look at using and applying the software package called surveymonkey.com. Basically, this is for educational purposes whilst studying on your program, and a requirement that I have of all participants is that you do not interfere, delete, modify any other questionnaire identified on the web page that is not your own. That's the simple basic rule that I have. And also, you are not to convey the password or the username details onto anybody else outside of your course. So, how do we use SurveyMonkey? Well, first of all, you have to go to the website www.surveymonkey.com, and it is basically an online survey tool, and it's just like designing a paper version of a questionnaire, but you are actually using an online technology. There are many online survey tools available, Qualtrics being another one that the Kimmy Business School actually utilises. But I prefer myself SurveyMonkey just because I've been using it an awful lot in the past number of years. SurveyMonkey does provide a free and paid options. The free options, basically, as you can see here on the basic side, offers you 10 questions per survey, and you're limited to 100 responses per survey. That's not the only thing. There are other limitations with the basic and free survey, is that in a sense you aren't enabled to conduct any SPSS analysis or statistical analysis. With the select survey, that is €225 per year, you have the basic plus features. You have unlimited questions, unlimited responses, custom survey designs with URLs. You can have what's known as a skip logic. That's where you might have a yes/no question, and you want to, for those who said yes, you want to skip to all the questions that are relevant to the yes answer, and those who answered no, you want them to skip to all those questions that are relevant for the no answer. The other plan is the gold plan, which is €300 per year, and here you've got unlimited questions, unlimited responses. You can actually custom redirect it to, let's say, the Kimmy Business School webpage, or if you're doing this for a company who've paid for the gold submission, you can then redirect it to the company webpage. There's a lot more features associated with the gold, even over the select features, and one of them is the possibility of integrating it with SPSS, and that's where they will take all your responses and you can actually save it as a SPSS file and do statistical analysis with that. There's other advanced logic features as well, question randomization or flipping, question and survey piping, and also random assignment for A/B testing. If you've got two different cohorts but you're asking them the same questions but you're actually changing around the structure and flow. Then you have the platinum, which is €800 per year, and again, like the gold, unlimited questions, unlimited responses, but here very much so you have the opportunity of brand control. Your own research.net survey URLs, you control how your survey looks, including logos and brand colours, and then you decide where they go after they complete your survey. So we actually have the gold account. That is the plan that I am giving you access to. So I'd like you to go to www.surveymonkey.com. Again, just reiterating that I'd like you to abide by the rules, that you don't interfere with any other questionnaires and results. The reason being is that one license is typically shared by faculty to their students. So there could be other master's students on your program if I'm giving you access to the master's level website, or if you're undergraduate students, there could be other undergraduate students who are interacting with the SurveyMonkey account that I'm giving to the undergraduate students. So what does the front page look like? When you basically open up on SurveyMonkey, you have this opening web page where you're seeing up in the top right hand corner the request to sign in. And here you sign in with your username and password, and I will provide you with these details. I have actually one account for undergraduate students that my other colleague actually provides to her fourth year and third year students, and I have another account for postgraduate students. So I would ask, in the undergraduate circumstance, you ask your communicator to ask me for the username and password, and for the master students on an individual basis, as you'll primarily be using it maybe for your thesis or maybe even for your strategic commercialization plan, that you ask me for the username and password. Oh, you might also be using it for other modules as well at master's level. That's no problem too. So once you actually provide the username and password, the next page that comes through will be a welcome page. And sometimes a welcome page actually looks differently, but in most cases it would look like this, where you actually will have the list of active surveys that are happening. But as you can see up in the top right hand corner, I have circled there create survey. So if you're going on this for the first time, you need to create a survey. Or if you're going back to it, you will hopefully see your survey listed there on the left hand side. If it's not on the front page, it is on maybe some of the other pages that are associated with this account. Well, if so, just go up to the top button here where it says My Surveys and click on that, and you will then find the other surveys. So how about the creation of a new survey and a new page, or new questions? So create survey, click on that, and you're going to get three choices. And the three choices will be create a new survey, copy an existing survey, and use an expert survey template. Now, funny enough, actually yesterday I went to my account on SurveyMonkey and I opened up a new survey, but I actually copied an existing questionnaire that I had, and I just made some slight refinements to it, and then I called it something different. So you may have to cannibalize a questionnaire that you already have and modify, adopt it, or you can create a new survey. And then whichever you choose, you click continue. So this is what the create survey page looks like. So if we've created a new survey, you can create a design yourself. Like, for example, I love the color purple, so I would have maybe a purple background, or I know some people like to use maybe green for environmental questionnaires or environmental ethos type questionnaires, just to convey that. Red for danger or warmth, it depends. So sometimes the colour can actually reflect your survey that you're designing. So this is up to you about designing the survey. You can use the basic template, or you can change the colour. You can have page numbering, you can add a logo. I like having a progress bar. If it's quite a long questionnaire, it's sometimes good to tell the person, you know, you're 40% there, you're 80% there. You can write questionnaires through SurveyMonkey in different languages. I teach in Finland, and in Finland I had 7 different languages being conveyed through SurveyMonkey, from Finnish, German, English, French, Spanish, Chinese, and Russian. So they were all the different languages that, there's obviously a variety more, but they were the languages that my students interacted with, and they had no problems with the language situation. Also in the survey, they have a pre-described set of questions as well, and they might give you prompts for how to actually phrase questions. Sometimes the questions are very American. It is an American-based questionnaire software program. So just be careful if you have an issue about the spelling of words. If you want to show a European flair, you might want to make sure that you stick to European spelling as well. So what's the webpage look like for designing and changing or customizing the theme? So as you can see here, the Create Theme button is highlighted, and the arrow is showing you what is actually changing in terms of the theme here being chosen is Purple Passion. Additionally, in survey options, when you're editing the survey, you can there have the page numbering, the logo, the progress bar, title, language, navigation. You may want to force answers from your respondents, and normally those questions have a asterisk associated with them, and they can't move on unless they provide an answer. So you may want to have a certain number of questions where there's a required answer, and then you can have also a footer as well if you want to associate it with saying that it's provided by SurveyMonkey. So the next is the question bank, as I mentioned previously, and this is quite a useful source for people who have never written a questionnaire before. You can pop in and out and choose different sort of themes. Some of you might be looking at what's known as demographics, the respondent's profile, understanding their age, education, occupation, marital status, and they have predetermined questions there that you can actually choose from, and then they give you various options of answers, of how answers could be phrased. You can maybe be considering writing a questionnaire for the healthcare sector, non-profit organisations, and again examples of typical questions associated with that type of survey are provided for you. So what I'd like you to do is design a questionnaire with page numbering, with a theme you like, and choose questions from the question bank to include. I'm going to continue on with this video, but if you like, you can pause the video at this stage and do this exercise, and then keep that exercise open, and we can add to the exercise as we go along in the video. So a questionnaire is not a questionnaire unless it has questions. So one of the very first things you need to do is add a question and ask a question of the respondents. So you need to click on the Add Question button for the page you want to add a question to. And from the option that you will be given, you will be asked to select a question type from the pull down or drop down menu. Again, there's a question bank here, or a sample bank if you want to see samples of the types of questions that can be posed. This is an important time here because you need to make sure you add the right type of question and match it up with the right type of answers. So if the question requires answer choices, be sure to hit the return key after you type each choice, and click Add, and then click Back. For example, this is where we're asking a question. You will see the question text. That's where you put in the question text. So for example, we might be asking, let's say, if you're male or female. If you want to have your answers horizontal or vertical, you can change those. And you're asking them to choose from one option. So what might it look like? So what sex are you? You post that question there. You can check the spelling. Then in question type, we're asking them to choose only one answer from a multiple choice of answers. Then you have a display format. Now, it's just my own personal preference. I prefer your answers being presented horizontally rather than vertically. The reason being is that the questionnaire looks smaller when you actually have them displayed horizontally. And then in the last box there, you have the answer choices. So what sex are you? Male, female. But as I read yesterday, Facebook has another sex or gender, and that's cis, CIS, if you want to be up with the current way of asking about gender. So ensure you start on a new line for each choice of answer, and you just press enter and type in the next answer. I have also circled here check spelling, and it does a spell check for you. So once you have put in your question text, put in your question type, put in the answers, you can save and add next question if you have another question to ask, or you can just save. So what does it look like? Well, sorry, before we have an idea of what it looks like, there's also the opportunity to include information about what the study is about at the start of the survey. Actually, I should really have discussed this at the very beginning, apologies. So before we even start adding in questions, we want to actually tell the respondents what this study is about, and we're actually maybe reinforcing some issues that we identified in our research ethics form. So go to the edit options page and type in your information about what the questionnaire is about. And as I say here in point 2, you might want to put in a NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. And this is basically page 1, and then the next page can commence your survey and have your first question under this information blurb. So you can have a single page, and then they move on to the next page of all the questions, or you can have your information page, and then actually underneath that, the paragraph of text on that page, you can then have your series of questions. This is all a matter of a taste of how you display it, be it a second page or having your information blurb in a paragraph and then your questions underneath. So this is an example here of where I said to go to edit page. I have the title is called Ethnic Entrepreneurship in Ireland. I've explained what the study is about, and then you can basically start your questionnaire at the add question if you want the first question to flow underneath the Ethnic Entrepreneurship in Ireland introductory blurb, or you can start a new page altogether. Try it out, see what you feel is the best. So that's your next task. Add in information on the page about your questionnaire or the section you are questioning them on. Add a question on their demographics, age, gender, education, etc. Remember, you can also use the question bank of questions that already exist, and you can copy those and use those in your survey. We may change the layout. Edit question is a very powerful tool. In the edit question, you can insert other and get them to type in an answer, or you can even change that word other because it's a prompt, but you can actually delete that. You might actually say, please describe your answer, or please explain your answer, or please expand on your answer. In edit question and changing the layout, you can force them to answer that question before moving on, and you can change the size and placement of the question. So you can move, in a sense, your first column, which has your question options, maybe even make that wider, and then have small, narrow boxes to choose from. So where do we do that? How is that shown visually? So here we have edit question highlighted, and this is enabling you to change the layout, change whether or not you want it to be a required answer. Maybe you want it horizontally or vertically, etc. So this is where in the previous example there of editing the question, when you decide to edit the question, you will be given this block, and you can see here on the example here, there is a scroll bar. So you will be presented with your question with your answer choices, and then if you scroll down here you will see the add other requiring an answer and then change size and placement as I had previously discussed. So I do actually oftentimes do the add other or a comment field. I don't personally require them to answer a question unless it is 100% necessary. I do change the question size and placement. I sometimes change it to 40%, 60%, or even 60-40 if my answer options are quite short. Again, play around with it. See what style suits you. See which actually reflects maybe the subject area under examination. So filtering questions. This is a little bit difficult to explain, but it's quite easy to do. Okay, so filtering questions. What do you do if you have a question where you want those who answered yes, or those who answered strongly agree, or those who answered agree, to move on to one section, and those who answer no or strongly disagree or disagree, you want them to move on to another section. What you have to do is you need to add question logic. And to add in a question logic, you need to insert a page as well to distinguish between the section that is relevant to the yes answers or the strongly agree answers. Add a page for filtering the answers for those who say no or strongly disagree. Add another page for those who answered disagree, and add another page for those who answered agree. And then you're filtering the respondent maybe to 4 different pages, or even 5 if you want to filter those who are not sure. So for example, do you like the training provided to ethnic entrepreneurs? Yes, no. So we want all the yes responses to go to the next set of questions, and all the no's to go to another set of questions. So here we have highlighted the add question logic. The example I have here is what sex are you? Maybe you want to filter all the males to a series of questions, and then filter all the females to a separate list of questions. In my previous example, I said, do you like the training provided to ethnic entrepreneurs? Yes or no. So for those who are answering yes, we would like them to go to question 6. And for those who say no, it's actually relevant that they go to question 7. So we have to add a logic or add logic so that we can actually enable this to happen. So we're informing the computer to tell, for those who answer yes, that they're to go to a certain page with a certain question relevant to the yes answers, and then those who answered no, we go to the drop down menu there of choose page, we tell the no's where to go, and also what page to go to. You will need to fiddle around with this a little bit. You'll be adding in pages at the end of, let's say, the yes answer, because then the no set of questions will come. We may want those who are answering yes to go on then to the end of the survey, or go on to more questions. But then you will also be filtering those who answered no. You'll be filtering them too. So again, it depends on your questions, but this is the basic premise about filtering. So for those who answer yes, we've inserted a page, and that page is page 4, and we're asking them to go to question 6. If you like the training we provide, ethnic entrepreneurs, please explain why. And for those who answered no, they're to go from page 5 to the question, if you do not like the training we provide, and whatever relevant questions are there. So they're the key tools that I believe that you need to use with SurveyMonkey. But again, a lot of it can be trial and error, and nothing happens until you actually collect responses before it's actually issued to the public. So you can make a mess of the survey, you can go back, you can actually tidy it up, clean it up, you can delete it. But when you actually want to collect the responses, you actually have to inform the system that you want to go and gather the information. How might we gather it? Well, we might create a link. We might be emailing it to people. We might create a pop-up link in a web page, or you might want to share on Facebook. But also you can collect the responses by paper copy as well, so you can print out the survey. So in the tab up on the top where it will have design survey, collect responses, analyze results, you click on collect responses and you choose which of the collectors you would like to utilize. When you've made your choice, you then click next, and if you're sending a link in an email, you will get a HTTP address such as the following, and it will have surveymonkey.com and then a series of numbers and letters. Or you can paste the HTML code to add your web link to any page. So when you've actually clicked next after choosing what you would like in terms of whether it be a web link or an email or whatever, you will be given these options here. But also you see here on the subheading of edit web link, change settings, change restrictions, manual data entry and close collector now. Be aware of using those should you want to in the future. The manual data entry is a very useful tool that if you decide to issue it online or via email, but also if you're stopping people in the street and gathering it from the paper copies, you can manually enter in your responses and add those to the online responses. So sending a link in an email, you can change the settings such as allowing multiple responses from the same computer, having a disqualifying page, sending them to your home page after completing the survey. To do this, you go to change settings. So change settings identifies all of these collector settings, and again you can actually give them choices and options to choose from there. This is your decision as a designer of the questionnaire. The system can also enable collecting the responses on your behalf. So you can choose email, and this allows you to keep track of those who have responded and those who haven't. But remember your research ethics application, that if you actually say you do not keep track of responses, you should not actually then use SurveyMonkey to send the emails, because then you're infringing on your own research ethics. But if you do not say this and it is not an ethical issue, SurveyMonkey can actually stop you sending out repeat reminders to people who have already actually even completed it. So this is the new email invitation. If you would like SurveyMonkey to send it out on your behalf, as you can read there, they have a zero tolerance spam policy, and you need to read that and agree to their terms of use. You can add recipients from an address book, you can add them manually, or you can add recipients from a previously created collector if you actually have done this before and using the same respondents. Choose recipients for the message, Who should the message be sent to? Maybe it's to those who have not responded or those who have responded. Maybe to all emails or also to custom criteria. This again is your choice on who you send it to, but please also refer back to your research ethics form on what you said and how you said you would collect your responses. I mentioned the manual collection previously before, so you can print out your survey, distribute them by hand, and then insert the results yourself into SurveyMonkey. So the first thing you do is you print out the survey, gather the responses, and then go into, to actually print out the survey, you go into Design Survey, you go to the left-hand side where it says Print Survey, tick all the boxes there, include survey title, include page number, print without page breaks, and ensure that the paper size is A4. And when you go and click on Download Printable Survey, what happens is it goes in and saves itself as a PDF. And then you can print out that PDF file. So you distribute and collect, then go to the web link and click Next Step. On the left side, you will see Manual Data Entry. Click on this, click on Add New Response and enter the data as per the questionnaire. So there's an illustration, Manual Data Entry, and it will then actually enable you to insert all the responses that you collect by hand. And the last important section is analysing your survey. So we get loads of responses. Now what do we do? Well, we have to analyse the results and then write them up. SurveyMonkey does not write up your results, but it does help you in analysing the data. So go to My Surveys page, click the Analyse Results tab to view the responses for the survey. You are now in the Results Summary page, and this is a summary of responses for all of the questions in your survey. From the pull-down menu, you can select to look at all questions or just one individual question. So go to My Surveys, which is up here on the top. Choose your questionnaire. This is the Analyze button. And when you actually choose your survey, you will click on the pie chart there to analyze your survey. And this is an example of what you receive in terms of your response. So this is the overall response of your survey, and there I have shown you the view summary. You can browse responses, you can check for any errors, you can filter responses. Let's say you only want to view those who were male, you can filter out females. You can do cross tabs where you compare and contrast results of, let's say, gender with education or gender and age. So you have a four cell analysis. You download responses. You can share the responses as well. So you can browse, filter, conduct cross tabs and share your results. Again, work with understanding how to analyze the results. So here's an example of filtering what sex are you by female, the female gender. And you can actually filter by properties or filter by collector. This again is a choice that you need to make. And what's equally as good in SurveyMonkey is that you can create charts. You can download the charts, you can have them as pie charts, you can change it to columns, you can change it to bar charts, histograms, 3D charts, etc. And the final section is that you can download for use in SPSS. you need to have the package that I'm providing you with, which is a Gold Plus package, for this to happen. And when you're downloading, you need to choose all responses collected, and then in the format, you need to choose SPSS format. But if you're not comfortable with SPSS, but you are with, let's say, Excel, you can then choose the advanced spreadsheet format should you want to. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed this video on SurveyMonkey, and I wish you all the best in designing your questionnaires. Thank you.